Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Strat Gamer here, providing you with a new Anno 1800 episode. And today this is another mod review, quite an exciting one because this is not just about beauty, this is also about gameplay, which is the type of mod I really like. It's not just about one thing, but it can help all type of players really bring something new to the game, let's say. And today this is Nate's Windmill. If you remember, 3 months ago, I actually did another mod review on 2 new ways to get electricity. One was the gas fracking, and the other was the pellet power plant. So it was burning wood, basically, to make electricity. And now this is another way to make electricity, so we're starting to get many different ways, which are quite, let's say, accurate, right? In the world, there are definitely many ways to make electricity or power, and especially if you think about this, the 19th century, there was definitely a lot of ways at that point to make it. And this one now is the wind, because this is sort of a electricity windmill called Net Windmills, provide electricity to industries and residents. So that's something interesting. It's not just for residents or not just for industry, it's for both. And as you can see, there's also a couple of interesting mechanics where you can see the range on the road, but you can also see this circle here. What is this circle? So actually, let me show you. Of course, you can find it in your city. It is here in between, if you don't have all the other mods that I mentioned earlier. And of course, if you didn't see that video I just mentioned before on the gas fracking and the pellet power plants, this video will appear now at the top, and it will also be in the description below. But yeah, as I was saying, if you don't have those mods, you'll find it here in between the normal electricity with oil and the normal, let's say, gas from the tech. So this one in green, as you can see, it doesn't cost that much. 90,000, 40 steel beams, 10 cells, because you have cells at the top here, as you can see, and lastly 5 motors. When do you get it? And you can see a maintenance also of 50 engineers, quite similar to this electricity here, which is 150, and we're gonna see why 50 versus 150, but it's the same tier, let's say. And indeed, the reason why also it's the same tier is because you unlock it in a sort of similar period, because you need 500 engineers to unlock it. But the main difference is what I was talking about earlier, which is this radius you can see here, and then this range on the road. So what is this radius? Well, it's basically preventing you from building too many too close. So I can build another one if I want over here. In this here I can. So it's similar to your trade unions or town halls. You can't build them too closely with radius overlapping, but far away, that's not a problem. At the same time, one also big difference versus the gas and the oil is it doesn't take anything. There's no input to it. I mean, it's just the wind. So you could have many on your island, and that would just cost you a bit of engineers and a bit of maintenance. Now, why only 50 engineers versus 150 for the oil and also 250 for the gas? Well, because look at this range. This range is very small. We're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in total, or if we look at basically how we usually calculate range for something like this, is you ignore those two here, which are the building size, and then you calculate on the side. So it's 3 and 3, 6. That's basically your range, and you can see it where this is in range, but this one is not. So if we look at this windmill, it is indeed getting electricity, and I can show you there's no other electricity source. Versus this one actually doesn't get the electricity because it's just out of the range. So that's why only 50, because the range is quite small, definitely. Definitely looks also really good in your, towards your farm areas or farmers areas. Maybe doesn't look that nice in a fully industrial area, but at the same time it is still based on steel, so could also fit there. And as I said earlier, this is not just for your industries, this is also for your houses. So let's indeed look at this. Here, I have a few houses. You can see that there's no electricity because if I try to put another one, you don't see, the roads are not green. And actually we see it also here, electricity not provided. But then close to that one that I just built here, we're once again gonna get a bit of range. Here, given that we are talking about paved road and not dirt roads anymore, the range is slightly longer. You can see talking about 4, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4 indeed. 4 on each side, so 8 in total, excluding those 2. And here indeed it is providing the electricity. So that's an interesting, alternative, especially earlier in the game when you may not have tons of oil left yet, or you may be having trouble getting the oil somewhere because you don't need rails, all those type of things. So that is, let's say, a cheap opportunity, but at the same time, very short range. So you're gonna need either many, or you're gonna need to be very smart on where you put them to give the access to what you need to give access to in terms of electricity. So it is, ladies and gents, today we're only looking at one mod because I thought this was an important mod to look at, on the side. But at the same time, I do remind you, I have looked at other mods providing electricity in the past, gas fracking, pellet power plants, which is in the description below. So don't hesitate to check that out if you want to work all of these ways to make electricity together in your city. And once again, can be for beauty building because provide variety, or it can be for your gameplay. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't hesitate to press the like button, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I hope to see you next time in a future video.